You've been explaining yourself to people who already decided you're harmless. That's why they keep underestimating you, and that's why you keep losing position. Every time you defend your intent, you hand them your leverage. Every moment you try to be understood, you surrender control. Every time you rush to prove value, you confirm their frame. That ends today, not with noise, with silence. Machiavelli understood something you keep ignoring. Power is not earned through clarity. Power is secured through ambiguity that you control, because the mind fears what it cannot map, and it attacks what it thinks it can predict. Most people react like citizens. They argue, they confess. But power players move like rulers. They don't react, they don't explain. They watch the room, measure the incentives, and shift the board before anyone realizes the game changed. You'll learn how to weaponize underestimation without looking insecure. You'll discover how to turn their arrogance into your strategic advantage while you stay calm and unreadable. You'll understand how Machiavelli builds an untouchable position using indifference, timing, and controlled visibility. This isn't about cruelty, it's about control. It's about reclaiming your leverage, so people stop treating you like background noise and start treating you like a problem they can't solve. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I move in silence. Number 1, silence as bait. Your silence forces their mind to fill the gap. Machiavelli treats information like currency, because what you reveal becomes a handle, and every handle becomes a way to move you. When you answer fast, you remove uncertainty, and uncertainty is the pressure that makes other people expose their real motives. Machiavelli knows the impatient speak first, and the first speaker usually loses control of the frame. You're in a meeting and someone throws a subtle insult, then pauses, waiting for you to scramble. You feel the impulse to laugh, explain, or correct the record because you want to be seen as competent and safe. You speak, and the room reads your urgency like weakness. Let it hang. Let them sit in it. Silence is pressure. Instead, breathe once and look at them without expression. Instead, delay your response by 3 seconds and answer only what serves your position, not what serves your ego. Instead, speak in fewer words than they expect, then stop and force them to over-talk. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I control the frame. Number 2, smallness as camouflage. Appear smaller than your capacity until the moment matters. Machiavelli describes a truth most people hate because it offends their vanity. Visibility attracts resistance, and resistance drains your leverage before you even move. When you advertise ambition, you trigger competition, and competition turns neutral observers into strategic enemies. Machiavelli doesn't tell you to be weak. He tells you to look ordinary while you quietly build a position that can't be challenged. You're new in a group, and the loud ones claim territory fast, talking big, flexing credentials, performing status. You could match them, but matching them makes you a target before you have allies, proof or control. So you stay measured, listen more than you speak, and they mislabel you as insignificant. Good. Let them. Mislabeling is leverage. Instead, deliver one clean win that cannot be argued, then disappear back into calm. Instead, let others talk about you, because third-party statements carry more power than self-praise. Instead, keep your next move private until execution is inevitable. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I grow unseen. Number 3, controlled mystery. What they can't read, they can't manipulate. Machiavelli builds power by limiting access, because access creates familiarity, and familiarity breeds entitlement. When people feel entitled to your emotions, they push buttons to test you, and every reaction gives them data. Machiavelli uses indifference as armor, not to be cold for sport, but to deny the world the information it needs to control him. Someone asks you personal questions in public. They want to map your insecurities, your triggers, your ambitions. Then use that map later when they need leverage. You start to answer politely, and you feel yourself becoming explainable. Stop. Be opaque. Be untouchable. Instead, answer with a general statement that reveals nothing operational. Instead, redirect with a question that makes them talk about themselves, because people expose their motives when they talk freely. Instead, smile lightly, then end the exchange first, because the one who ends the interaction controls the position. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I stay unreadable. Number 4. Let them underestimate you on purpose. Their underestimation is your strategic cover. Machiavelli doesn't fear disrespect the way fragile people do, because he knows disrespect is often just a test for emotional control. When you correct every slight, you prove you can be pulled, and being pullable makes you controllable. Machiavelli stays composed because indifference signals a deeper power. You don't need their approval to exist. Someone jokes at your expense in front of others. They watch your face for heat, because heat means they found your leverage point. You feel the urge to fire back, because you want to protect your image. Don't perform, don't explain, don't chase. Instead, hold a neutral expression and let the moment pass without giving them a scene. Instead, later, change the rules of access, invitations, and collaboration so they feel the consequence without getting the drama. Instead, upgrade your results and let the new reality correct them, because outcomes are the only language power respects. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I use their arrogance. Number 5. Delay your reaction. Speed is obedience to their tempo. Machiavelli teaches timing as dominance, because the person who dictates timing dictates control, and control dictates the outcome. When you respond immediately, you confirm they can summon your attention on demand. Machiavelli moves when it benefits him, not when someone else tries to force urgency. A message comes in with an accusation and a deadline. Your chest tightens and you start typing a defense, because you want to stop the discomfort fast. You send it, and now you're in their rhythm. Slow down. Take space. Reclaim position. Instead, wait until you can answer with precision, not emotion. Instead, respond with structure, not tone, and keep it short, because short is control. Instead, if needed, move the conversation to a setting you can manage, because the battlefield is part of the strategy. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I move on my timing. Number 6. Use scarcity to raise value. What is scarce is respected. Machiavelli understands that attention is a resource, and resources create leverage when they are limited, not when they are spilled everywhere. If you're always available, people treat you like a service, not a force, because there is no cost to access you. Machiavelli uses controlled absence to create weight, because the mind assigns value to what it can't reach instantly. You answer every call. You join every plan. You become the reliable background. Then someone else arrives, less skilled but harder to access, and the room leans toward them, not because they're better, because they feel rarer. Instead, reduce your availability without apology and let your work speak louder than your presence. Instead, be consistent in quality, not constant in access, because constant access cheapens you. Instead, choose where you show up, and when you do, deliver something decisive that changes the room. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My presence has weight. Number 7. Build alliances while you look neutral. Your power multiplies through other people. Machiavelli doesn't rely on raw talent alone, because talent without support is fragile, and fragile power collapses under pressure. When you look aggressive, you trigger defense, but when you look calm and strategic, you become a safe investment. Machiavelli builds leverage through quiet relationships, because the strongest moves are made with backing, not bravado. You're competing for a role, a contract, or influence. The obvious move is to campaign publicly, to announce your value, to argue why you deserve it. That creates enemies and exposes your need. Stay neutral, stay useful, stay strategic. Instead, privately strengthen key connections with value that solves their problems, not flattery that insults their intelligence. Instead, let others carry your name into rooms you're not in, because third-party advocacy is power. Instead, keep your intentions quiet until the support is already locked. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I am backed by leverage. Number 8. Turn attacks into proof. When they attack you, you're already important. Machiavelli reads hostility as information because people don't waste energy on what has no power, and jealousy is just fear in a different costume. If you react emotionally, you give them the narrative they want, but if you stay composed, you force the room to question their motive. Machiavelli uses indifference to make the attacker look unstable, because calm exposes chaos. Someone tries to discredit you with gossip. They frame you as arrogant, untrustworthy, or lucky, hoping you'll panic and overcorrect. You feel your reputation shaking, and you want to address it everywhere. Don't chase smoke. Create reality. Let results suffocate lies. Instead, respond once, calmly, with facts, then return to performance. Instead, increase your visibility only through output, not through defense, because defense signals vulnerability. Instead, quietly document patterns and build strategic options, because leverage means you're ready when escalation becomes necessary. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I stay calm under fire. Number 9. Win silently, then reposition. Victory is wasted if you stay in the same place. Machiavelli treats every win as a chance to change your position, because power is not a moment, it's a structure, and structures require maintenance. If you win loudly, you invite revenge, but if you win quietly, you reduce resistance while you expand control. Machiavelli teaches you to make your success look inevitable, because inevitability makes you untouchable. You outperform someone who underestimated you. They expected you to celebrate, to rub it in, to demand recognition. If you do, they mobilize against you, because embarrassment breeds retaliation. Stay quiet. Take the next step. Lock the advantage. Instead, act like the win is normal, because normal is dominance. Instead, use the new leverage to secure better terms, better access, and a higher position. Then cut off unnecessary exposure. Instead, keep your next target private, because the second win is easier when nobody sees it coming. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I win without noise. Now you see the pattern. It's not about being louder. It's about being harder to move. When people underestimate you, they hand you freedom because they stop watching closely, and that blindness becomes your strategic opening. You take that opening with silence, with controlled visibility, with indifference that denies them data, and with leverage that turns small moves into permanent advantage. You stop performing emotional honesty for people who use it as a weapon, and you start operating like a strategist who measures outcomes, not feelings. Machiavelli isn't asking you to become cruel. He's demanding that you become precise, because precision creates control, and control creates an untouchable position that doesn't collapse when the room gets hostile. You don't need to explain your intentions. You don't need to react to every provocation. You don't need to chase validation from people who profit from your insecurity. You need structure. You need timing. You need silence that forces others to reveal themselves while you keep your power protected. This is what changes when you apply Machiavelli correctly. You stop being the person who is evaluated. You become the person who evaluates. You become the calm center that others orbit because they sense you're not available for manipulation, and they can't find the handle they used to pull. You are no longer the underestimated one. You are the strategic one. You are the one who wins quietly, then moves the board. If this video helped you see the game more clearly, hit that like button so this reaches the people still leaking power through reaction and explanation. Subscribe to this channel because what comes next goes deeper into control, leverage, silence, and building an untouchable position the room can't ignore. Share this with someone who keeps getting underestimated, keeps over-explaining, and keeps calling it being nice while they lose position in real time. And remember, in Machiavelli's world, the loudest person is usually the easiest to control. Stay sharp.